There we go. Unmute myself. Okay, folks, gets better from here. Let me just get everybody in. Morning, Stacy and Greg. Okay, and Mark and all these other and Seth is here. Good stuff. Got a bunch of people coming in. Definitely want to get everyone in before, we got some great topic here. It's one that's near and dear to my heart. Um, and it's one that I'm just very curious to see what your experiences in either turning something around or seeing something that has been turned around. I think this is where watching politicians is magic because you could really see for yourself just what they do to capture everyone's attention and to be able to get out of these sticky situations. Again, not a political commentary here as much as it is a thought about what we're going to be able to do and how we could borrow those ideas to be able to take it into our businesses and hopefully do some great things with it. Again, giving everyone else just a minute. Did Aton get in here yet? Aton is here. Aton, make sure that you get the workbook out to everyone. Um, okay, let me just see this. Yeah, I'm denying a lot of people's recording these autopilots because not because I don't want you to have it and we could certainly get you a transcript. It's because these things send a blast email out to everyone. Somehow it hijacks my email, and I've had some of you come to me at the end of this saying, what the hell is going on? I'm getting all these follow-up things from people I didn't ask. So I know that you have an autopilot. I have one too. And I know that a lot of you have recording stuff going on in the meeting. I am rejecting much of those. If you really need to get a transcript, please do let me know. We certainly go over all of that and giving everyone just another minute. So, if you have the workbook, Eitan, did you get that out yet? Does anyone not have the workbook? Greg doesn't have the workbook. Stacy, you have the workbook?
Yes, it's in the chat.
Okay, Aton just put it in the chat. Isn't that nice? Okay, let me just get this. Don't report. Okay, sorry guys. Okay, there we go. So Aton's got this in the chat. I highly suggest you get it and download it. We put a lot of time into these workbooks and they really do help turning an objection into a yes. Who's got an example of when they may have taken a negative situation and turned it around? I know that this is a tough one, but it's a good one. So if you could actually, and even if you don't think, guys, I'm not going to mock anyone here today. So just if you've been in a situation, talk about maybe a time that you failed where you wish you had turned it around. I'm going to pick on somebody and it's okay. Stacy's just the greatest. You're my new best friend. Go ahead, Stacy. Unmute yourself. Please introduce yourself, say who you are, and then make your comment.
Okay, I'm Stacy. I am in the Hamptons market,
Okay.
and I have to say I am looking to hear what how other folks have handled the objections. It's something that I struggle with. Um, and the remarks that I'm sure everybody hears is now's not the right time. We're waiting to see what's going to happen with the economy, with the government, not sure, blah, 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 blah. Whatever, it doesn't even matter. And I just tend to say, okay, well, I'll follow up with you in a couple of months. And then I do, but I feel like I need to have something stronger in my back pocket as sort of a rebuttal. So
Sure.
I'm just saying I'm actually looking to hear what others have said.
Okay, and we'll get onto that in a second. But give me a scenario because we're in a situation where somebody's either buying or they're not, they're selling or they're not. I mean, so
Well, yeah.
let's
Well,
spell that
I
out.
often, so the market that I'm in is second homes primarily. So it's not like people are moving for a job or people are moving because the kids' school is changing or whatever. It's mostly second homes. And they're slow. They're slow. The buyers are slow to pull the trigger. They're just sort of kicking the tires a lot. And I take people out all the time to look at houses. I send them listings and don't like I just send someone like 30 listings. I don't like any of these. I
Okay.
said, "Can you give me feedback? What specifically?" I just don't like any of them.
So let me ask you this. Do they wind up buying with someone else or do they just not buy?
I would say 75 don't buy, 25% I do find out they buy with someone else. And it's not that they've chosen another agent. They're looking for listings online on their own and they go direct to the listing agent.
Sure. So we've got to pick up your value as to why they want to stay with you. Not just you, by the way,
Yes.
Stacey. Stacey has the courage to speak, by the way, everybody. She's got so I'm not going to pick on Stacey. But what I am going to say is we've got to figure out a way to make you invaluable to them. That goes a little bit beyond what we're talking about here, but we're going to touch on it. So let's stick with this. How many times have you seen a politician? Whether you're Democrat or Republican, it doesn't matter. I mean, again, we are apolitical here. I try to remain as neutral as possible, but I'll give certain examples of this. Donald Trump once got up on the news and said, "You know what? I could go to Fifth Avenue and I could take a gun and shoot someone and it wouldn't matter." Does anyone remember that statement that he made? He was right. He was right. Somehow people have actually put that kind of weight behind him, and the people who don't like it, fuck it. It doesn't matter. Okay? It doesn't matter. There's been something about him and the personality that he's figured out has gone beyond that. Let me show you what the nucleus is of this. When you see a politician in a tough situation, and guys, you should write this down. Um, what they take basically a three-step process. The first is usually answering the question yes or no. That's true, that's not true. Positive or negative. That's usually what it is. All of you tend to resist answering the question right away. Makes sense. Nobody wants to actually make a commitment. Um, Beyond that, they then take it to step two. And step two is they explain why they feel the way they feel. Okay? So they've answered the question, they explain why they feel the way they feel. And then the third step is they expand upon that for the message that they want. Ross Perot in the 90s was running for president. And people said to him, do you have experience being a politician? Now, watch how this three-step process worked. He said, if you're asking me if I've got experience being a politician, the answer is no. There's the first part. He gave that. I don't have experience. Now, here comes the second part. I don't have experience building deficits and ruining lives the way these politicians have. That's step two. Step three, I've been building businesses and jobs my entire life, and I'm going to do it for the American people if they ask me to, and I don't want any compensation for the job this great country is about to give to me. Now, if you break it down, I thought long and hard about this. That is a three-step process. Yes or no, positive or negative, explain, and then expand. You guys are going to be able to watch this video over and over again to be able to get that as the idea. But if you could learn to master that, you could really get out of most situations. I'm not going to lie to you and tell you it's going to be perfect every time. This is never about that. Anyone who's been with me and been to my coaching and my mastermind for long enough will know that I'm not going to tell you it's going to cure everything. What I am trying to do is heighten the probability of your success. And part of that is really going through and understanding that. So with that said, do we have questions before we get on to some of the personality types? I'm looking at my computer over here. Greg, you're all happy today. You got to unmute. What's going on?
That is so not the truth. This day started miserably.
Yeah,
Um,
but you're
but
here
you're
now and
turning
you're
it
happy,
around
right?
because you've got that. There you go. That's
I
what
got the
does
high
it
pro
for me.
glow. Yeah, I'm sitting with the
Yep.
dog. It usually makes me pretty happy.
Yep. I'm surprised we didn't hear somebody chime in with the objection of there's somebody else that will do it for less.
Yes, there is somebody that will do it for less, and you can take your date to a soup kitchen instead of taking her to a cirque. Now, in which situation do you think you'll have breakfast the next morning? Okay, I know that that might be a little crude. Ladies, don't take it too personally, but it does set a visual for what you to understand. McDonald's, a soup kitchen, and Le Cirque. You'll have dinner at all three. Okay, I mean that's what I say all the time. At the end of the day, people say it shouldn't concern anybody how much you make. What do you want to make on the transaction? Let me be the one to get it across the finish line. That's what we're actually trying to do, right? Isn't that the truth? Okay. So,
Absolutely.
so we're going to, no matter what, and I've told the story before that I went into a listing appointment. I didn't get the listing. And it pissed me off because I really wanted the money. Okay. Not that we ever don't want the money, but I took the guy to lunch and he said to me, Ed, you know what? You're a better realtor. You have a better presentation. You know this stuff. However, I know that women run the real estate transaction. My wife is the one who decides, and I think you're in the wrong business. I chose this female realtor. And, I could have hoed and hummed and said how horrible the world is and how unfair everything is. No, I need estrogen stat. I need women on my team. And it was an incredible lesson that was learned that day because you're going to have to, there's certain things that we're not going to be able to get over. That's not what this is about. This is about what we are going to get over. What the clients really want to know, and you can follow along with this in your books. And again, Eitan, if you don't mind throwing this up a couple times. Everyone, just so everyone know, Eitan, you want to just wave wildly so everyone sees you? Eitan, you just got to go like this. Okay, can he even hear me? He's not waving. There he goes. Okay. Eitan's my partner. He's in Europe, and
I'm waving. I'm here. I'm here. My
okay. He's
internet
here.
connection is a bit slow. Sorry, guys.
Okay, no worries. He's the wizard behind the curtain. So, what the clients want to know, they want to know if you can handle the pressure. Will you stay confident in control? Do you get how they think, and are you the expert that they can trust? Those are basically the four quadrants that you're going to need to focus on. The pressure, well, you're in the meeting in the first place, so they must be giving you the opportunity to talk about that pressure. Um, will you stay confident in control? Well, that's something that gets demonstrated in the listing appointment all the time. Do you get how they think? Listen, everybody wants the money. I mean, clearly, when they're selling a deal, people want the maximum dollar amount. But I've seen so many deals go to schmucks. They go to people who are the worst people ever. And Seth is nodding here. Because we've seen this. We've seen stuff get lost based on boldness, bravado. I'm going to talk in a minute about him. There's a man who passed away here at St. Andrew's Country Club. He's got a very expensive listing. His estate does now, anyway. So, and I love that. Okay, and I feel a little dirty saying that to all of you. But guess what? My competition is calling this next of kin. That guy's body isn't even cold yet. They're calling the next of kin already. We're going to talk about a strategy that I could use and how you would want to implement that, and if you've been in situations. So here we go. Do we pass the trust test? What are some of the things that you're going to do to build trust between you and the client? Anyone want to have the guess? Ferris Bueller. Ferris Bueller. Try and see here. I'm going to pick on Eddie Glantz in a minute. Okay, Mark Lawrence, unmute yourself and please introduce yourself to everyone, my fat boyfriend.
You got to be careful what you say there.
Yeah, it sounded a little odd. He's a fat boy. Go ahead.
Longtime friend, not boyfriend.
Not boyfriend.
Mark Lawrence. I'm in the title insurance business with a company called Worldwide Land Transfer. And a longtime friend of Ed's. But we're saying, how do you establish kind of that rapport? Is find common things, I would say, that can get people's guard down. That kind of build that connection before getting further into that discussion.
Go
It's always
ahead.
a good place to start.
Sorry, you dropped out there. Say that again.
I said building connections, on things that you have in common
Sure.
outside of the main connection. If it's you grew up in the same place, you have same hobby or a common friend, so build some sort of credibility through another
Well,
connection.
and I want to make the point. Tell everyone about the fat boy. Why did I call you fat boy?
Yeah, so during COVID, did a lot of exercise on my bike behind me, and I hated being on video, but I posted a video and it said, "It's just another day at the Fat Boy Fit Club," um, which feels like every day for me. And I got 50 people who reached out to me and said, "How do I join the Fat Boy Fit Club?" Which there was no Fat Boy Fit Club, but what I discovered was a lot of people hate exercise, but everybody wants to, be thin, fit, healthy. And I hate exercise, but I got to do it. So I found synergies in connecting, with other people that can joke, that weight and health is something that's dogging them, but but something they have to take care. We all have to take care of. So,
Sure.
just kind of disarming them by, referring to myself as a fat boy. That's I think a common comedian type of strategy is first they make fun of themselves because it gets people to like them. So not saying make fun of yourself in the listing presentation, but but again, finding that connection and that, and it's not always directly, moving the ball down to getting the sale, but first it's, just establishing rapport. And Fat Boy Fit Club, it gave me a lot of rapport with a lot of different people.
And again, we'll call that a vehicle. We'll call that a vehicle to get from point A to point B. Going back to some of the analogies that I used before, you walk into a meeting and you immediately say, okay, list with me. Or you put up on social media, just listed, just sold, under contract. I do it too. Nobody cares. But what Mark, even by total accident, fell into was something that half the country is drowning under its own weight. And certainly every the other half is certainly talking about it. So he's found a mechanism in his own self-branding. He even created a logo with his own caricature of his face on it of the Fat Boy Fit Club. That was what he had done. And in the process, he really created a following. So I want to throw that out to everybody that it is a close cousin to this topic. It's not spot on. When let's get into what the client says. We're waiting for the market to drop. Anyone ever hear that before? Show of hands. Nobody? Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. The rest of you are. Vivette raised her hand. Good to see you, Vivette. Okay, so the market says that. Let's talk about the 4 different types of personalities in general that you're going to get. And again, this is now on page 3 of your workbook. There's the driver, the analytical, the expressive, and the amiable. The driver is going to say, I don't want to lose money by acting too soon. Okay, now just look through each of these things. The analytical says, I need more data to make the information, an informed decision. Okay, makes sense. The expressive says, I'm not excited about the current options. And then the amiable will say, I'm not comfortable making big decisions right now. You've heard this in different forms. I need to ask my wife. I need to talk to someone. We get all that stuff. So first things first, if you could identify what the product type is or what the personality type is, you could begin to build a strategy around that person. See, the problem with most of us is that we actually go on the listing appointment with the same message over and over and over again. It's kind of like going back to that example of the date at the soup kitchen. We've got to find out. Some people might actually hate Le Cirque. It might not be the kind of person. It might be way too stuffy. In fact, I've been married a long time now, but I can name a lot of women that wouldn't have wanted to go to Le Cirque. They certainly wouldn't have gone to a soup kitchen either. But I could tell you that there are things. So what is the personality type? Where are you going to take your date? How are you going to approach that particular client? I'm not going to give you the answer this second, but we are going to discuss it in a minute. If you could build your rapport, and the stats are in here, you're increasing the odds by 47%. Now, this was a study done by Tom Ferry, who's a competitive real estate coach. It increases the probability by 47%. Does it guarantee it? No. Do people still list with people they hate? Of course they do. If somebody's the dominant agent in a community and they think they're going to get more money, they'll hold their nose and they'll eat. They'll do what they have to do to get the deal done. But you know what? We're still going back to what I said originally, trying to increase the probability of you getting the deal. Not a guarantee every time. So if you're able to actually get that, you're going to be able to build the resistance. Let's go back to my very real situation that we've got right now. Very nice man recently passed away. He passed away over the weekend, 96 years old, very wealthy guy, one of the nicest lots in St. Andrew's Country Club. This is a real story, guys. This is going on right now. I'm not holding back anything here. Okay, my competition, I know at least 2 people, probably 3, that called up. I live in a gated community that's very close-knit, and I'm very fortunate that we all get the database of who's who. My competition, one of them actually called the head of membership of the country club, this is where we live, and said, who's next of kin? What's their number? And he has no problem calling them up. What do I do? Throw it out there. What do I do? My mom died. I got furious when realtors called me. And if you can't see yourself doing it, then how the hell are you going to do it on your own? Greg Coggins, again, just once again, tell everyone where you are, Greg, so everyone
I'm
knows what is
Greg
it.
Coggins in Charleston, South Carolina.
Great.
So, what I would do, you know these people or they know you, I
I know
guess is a
them.
better question.
I know them. And
So,
yeah.
I would send something. I would send a sympathy card or, a little note that says, got you on my mind if there's anything I can do. Um, I, and follow that up, in a week or so and ask, what you can do to help.
Okay. But going along the lines of the personality types, that's what I was waiting for you to say. That I got to find out which one of these they are, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So not to call you out on it, Greg, but since you put that scary picture behind you and I freaked out a few months ago, I'm never going to let that down, by the way. If everyone was at that meeting, it was actually very funny. Um, but yes, I need to find out specifically what these, which one of these personality types they are, if they fall into that, and who the actual decision maker is. Okay, a lot of you have been pitching to the wrong person. You've been speaking to someone. Eitan and I are going through that right now on a consultative deal that we've been talking just to the wrong person um, for our AI services that we're trying to offer. And we're getting in with the right person, but we've just put a lot of time into it. It happens. Don't beat yourself up too much. So first things first, find out who the right person is. Two, find out the personality type based on this. Three, I still have to actually make the move. I still have to actually talk to somebody if I'm going to. Who thinks it's a bad idea? Guys, I'm not going to take anything personally here, and neither should you. I'm trying to build a bridge to be able to figure out what the success is, and I'm trying for you to learn to mirror that. Some of you might be giving the absolute perfect information, and for other people, it will fall on deaf ears. If my competition goes after the next of kin, and they're beating me consistently in this particular community in this way, I could either hide from it and tell everyone how great I am, or I could learn from it and find a way to build a bridge around that and to be able to turn that negative into a positive. Now let's talk about it. Who's got some ideas here? Okay, Stacy again, please. And then maybe Kim
Well,
will chime in and Hedeka, and I want to hear from you guys. Go ahead.
well, I've been struggling with this, and I actually something just occurred to me just during this conversation.
Good.
And you know, so obviously the style or the personality of the prospective seller, but also the style of the real estate agent. Like for instance, the thought just came to me that I would reach out to these people, and you were saying something about a consult with your AI, and I was kind of combining those two ideas to reach out. Sorry about your loss. And again, this is like a non-edited version, but I'm sure you have other agents who've been reaching out to you. I'm happy to help if you have any questions, even if you choose another agent. So they see you as someone who's offering help, not someone who's pouncing.
Okay.
Something
So
along those lines.
So great. So role play with me for a second. Ring ring. You're calling me. I'm the next of kin. Just we'll do this really quickly. Role playing is
Okay.
it's the
Yep.
unsung hero of most situations.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Hi, Edmund. This is hi. So hi, Edmund. This is Stacy. I heard that there was a loss in your family.
Yes, Stacy. Thank you so much.
I just wanted to reach out to extend my sympathies. As you know, as I believe you know that I am a real estate agent, and there are lots of them in our community. If you have questions, if you're working with someone else but still have questions, I just wanted to let you know I would be happy to help just answer any questions or just be an ear to listen to.
Okay. Thoughts? You could throw a cow at her if you want, but she was the one that was bold enough
But
to
I
answer.
just lost someone. How dare you call me like this?
Okay, so you see, there's Eitan's
Yeah.
personality. Eitan's the fifth personality. He could be a total.
Yeah. Oh, well, I'm sorry to bother you. I am so sorry for your loss, and I just wanted to let you know I'm thinking of you and hang up, and that's the end of it.
Okay. One thing. Other ideas?
Oh, those realtors.
Yeah, believe me, we're like little weasels here. It's terrible. Okay. Here's the thing. If you could understand, okay, Terry was like kind of half hand up-ish. I don't know what he was doing.
I'm sorry.
No, first of all, Terry, tell everyone who you are and where
I
you
got
are.
to work on that. Anyway, Terry Robinson from Brooklyn, New York, coolest place in the world. Um, when I started out, I was with Corcoran, and Corcoran gave us 2 weeks of training. It was called Corcoran College, and I'll never forget the guy who taught the class. We were in this exact scenario, and he started wailing, "Yes, my mother died. We were so close." And my initial thought was, because I'm from the Midwest, is like, I am so sorry. I will reach out to you when things calm down and you are in a better frame of mind. And the guy turned on a dime and said, "No, this is exactly the time that these people need a real estate professional to take this off of their plate so that they, who are concerned with 500 other things, don't have to worry about this. Your service is absolutely required at this time." So to me, if you are to turn the scenario into the fact that I am providing a necessary service right now so you can focus on taking care of your loved ones at this time, that's a valuable service that anyone should be able to provide right now.
Sure. Yeah, what Terry's touching upon here is very important. You've got to, the reason I'm having such a hard time with this call, and by the way, I'm not exactly shy. I'm really just not I'm going to blindly assume that whether I take you to a soup kitchen or with Cirque, we're still going to have breakfast tomorrow. Isn't that wonderful? But on a very serious note, I know that if you come into something in your mind that it's that you're making the right approach, that you're genuinely doing them the favor, you're going to be much more likely to make the call. This is psychology 101. I mean, this is really going to be something that you have to convince yourself is the right thing to do. I'll give you another example. Some of you will get a cold call, and I'm not talking about a robocall. I'm talking about a human, and I'm not talking about a foreign like dialer, somebody that just like cold calls, that is a local business. And many of you will slam down the phone or tell them to fuck off or do something that you're going to be upset. If you are the person that will hang up on a cold call, you are not going to be a person who will ever want to make a cold call. So, psychologically, if you can take every single cold call that you get, and again, not the robocalls, they don't count. If you take every single cold call, genuinely engage them, and actually learn how they're trying to slip out and turn a negative into a positive, you're going to get more of an education than you're going to get from me today. If you consistently do this over the course, that you really are, that you're going to learn a lot from that. Keep in mind, these are people just trying to make a living. We're all in sales here. And I would just tell all of you, if you want, this is your battleground. This is something to learn. This is somewhere to go. We're going to get to Greg and hopefully Robert in a minute and a few of you, but I want to just throw something out there in the chat right now. I created an app. It's not even beta at this point. It's got flaws, but I would love for you to give it a try. I coded this over the last week or so. It's called the FOS detector. It means full of shit. It is one of these things where you could take an article, you could take an email that you got from someone, and you could say to yourself, on a scale of 1 to 10, how honest is this person being? And how should I respond to it? That's what I created. I'm doing it on my own API through, it's something that I programmed. We are planning on offering all of you a suite of apps similar to this. Be brutal on it, guys. It's not perfect. It's not yet ready for prime time. I need your feedback. And I thought it would be a good time to introduce it. Again, it's in the chat right now. Please give it a try when you have time. And if you have time to give me some feedback, that's how I iterate and make these changes. Again, if I could have something that will continue to make this network more and more valuable to all of you, that's what I'm going to do. And so I really hope that you're able to pop on. And again, feedback would be very, very appreciated. Okay, Greg, I think you had something, and then I think we had Robert, I think.
So yeah, and it's already been touched on, but nevertheless, I think if you approach this situation with offering value, so one of the things I do is send uh, a list again with snail mail, not any other format, a list of service providers, estate sale people, probate attorneys, even landscape people. So a list of providers. I think there's like 8 on that particular list, um, and they see it as a value add and appreciate things that back to what Terry said, taking stuff off their plate. How do I find a probate attorney? I don't know anybody. Uh, so give them a list, and of course, when I send that, they've got my contact information as well.
Sure. Look, certainly building the value add is great, but usually you still have to get over that hump, right? You still have to have had that conversation in order to do it. Guys, we could go through this in many, many different ways. I will give you the warning. You will be cursing me when someone screams at you when you make this call. Inevitably, we're not going to always get the nicest people on the phone, especially if it's a grieving son who sees you as just a selfish jackass who just wants to make the money. And indeed, from their perspective, that's exactly what you're being. But you know what? So what? It's just, you got to just say to yourself, my goal here is for you to win. And I want you to win and win on your terms. That's really the important part. So as I'm speaking here, I'm realizing I'm going to make some iterations to that app where you're going to be able to incorporate these analytical types. Again, we're building lots of apps for you. I think that there's real room in the real estate world for very specific apps. And speaking of apps, he said in the chat, when I have the right moment, I'm going to ask a question. Robert, is now the right moment? I want to make sure.
Yeah.
Can you tell everyone who you are and where you are, please?
Yeah, so Robert Lee, I am technically a licensed agent in Georgia, although I don't practice. I just do marketing and sales and AI and a lot of the same stuff that Edmund does. And he identified himself as a brother from another mother at the DE conference online a couple of months ago. But my question to you was, going back to your hypothetical example, you're saying these competing agents are coming into your neighborhood and winning listings with grieving families that you
I say
feel you
that
should win?
they're in the neighborhood, that this is the usual suspects that I see.
Okay. So
And
if
so,
they're winning, if they're winning,
mhm.
why the fuck would you not just call the next of kin and say, let's go out and make your life easier, just like Terry said. Like, I mean, it's you can overcomplicate it with building a value ladder and building a value offer, but at the end of the day, you just have to be willing to call somebody and say, "I'm here to help."
Sure.
Look, the value ladder is irrelevant if you never have a conversation with people.
100%. And I'm trying to say, just like with all of you, as much as I am bold and I go out there, I have setbacks and I have apprehensions just like the next guy. To
So,
me, just like I said, if you don't take cold calls, you'll never take a cold call. When my mom died and I got 5 phone calls from realtors, I thought that these were the scum of the earth. I thought that these were the worst people ever. And I don't think that if you reflect on yourself, you want to be that guy. Now, 15 years later, and a realtor and a pretty successful one doing my stuff, I recognize that somebody is going to get the deal. Somebody is going to get the deal. It's not going to be a for sale by owner. It's not a cheap house. This lot's going to sell for $7 million. That's like Mark Lawrence money, okay? That's big time money. Look at him. You look how money that guy looks, okay? That's big time money. I want that money. You want that money. We all want the money, damn it. So, do I lower my standards to myself at that point and go for it? Again, I'm just using myself as an example. You guys could give your own examples of yourselves, but it is a crisis within my own being. And guess what? From where I sit, talking to so many of you, you guys feel the same way.
so, and this
Go ahead,
this is going to be my recommendation, then,
please,
right?
Robert, fix me, Robert, please.
Everybody should buy the book "It's Not Luck" by Eliyahu Goldratt. He is the creator, the developer of the theory of constraints back in the 80s and the 90s. And it gives you a methodical, logical way to identify the policies, which is really feelings when we're talking about cold calling. It will help you identify what it is that you're doing to get in your own way. And it will help you find a method to do the same thing with the clients that you're trying to build relationships with. I mean, we close about 80% of our discovery calls because in the hour that we have that discovery call, because we go through this logical process.
Sure.
It is one of the best books for how to think through challenges because more than likely you're not getting a yes because you set up your own barriers. And
Can you
Edmund and
repeat
I,
the
we
name of
can't
the
tell you
book?
what those barriers are, but you live them. You know your experiences, you know your intuitions, you have everything in your head. You need to get through it. Get the book. It's great on Audible. I mean, you just listen to select chapters from time to time. It's one of the best books to build a process for yourself to actually get to the yes.
So if you could put that into the chat, just
Yep.
because that would be great. And guys, Robert's a good person. You should get to know one another in this meeting. We do have,
What was the name of the book and the author,
he's
please?
putting it in. It's not luck.
I'll find an Amazon link for it too.
Yeah.
Bear with me.
So he just put it into the chat. Guys, all my ideas are not unique. They're all coming from you. So when you want a topic for a future mastermind, I'm running at about 2 months advance notice. We will research it. We'll put stuff in. There's something I don't want to forget about this. There's a new AI app. You knew this was coming called Cluely, Cluely, Cluely. And there's a free version of it. So I suggest you download it when you have time. What Cluely does is it sits on your desktop and there's a transparent background. So in the Zoom meeting, I could actually listen and watch at the same time, and I could read it. And when somebody throws a tough question out at you, or if you right at a loss for words, you click the button. What do I say next? I'm not kidding. And it will give you some advice on where you could take the conversation. It also starts to learn a little bit more about your style. So if you ever feel as though you're at a loss for words, again, this is not something that I am personally benefiting from. It's not my app. But I do think that there's a free version of it. And given what we're talking about right now, Cluely, Cluely, is a pretty cool thing to try. Again, I like to bring cool things to all of you. Um, Okay, so that was Robert. That's my little thing about Cluely. Let me just see. We're talking about personality types. Objections. In this list on page 6, we've got your most common objectives. You know, objections. If you look at any type of website, a good website, they usually have an FAQ, frequently asked questions page. Everybody resists it. Everybody wants to speak to customer service. You keep pushing 0 when you're on hold. Guess what? 90% of your questions are really going to be answered by the FAQ. You don't have anything unique about the question that you're asking. It's really, and let's look at this. Waiting for the market to drop. I'm talking to other agents. The commission is too high. God, I hate that. I'm not ready yet. We're going to sell it ourselves. I mean, all of us have heard variations of those objections. And if you know in advance what the variation is going to be, perhaps you could build a structure around it. Let me give you a few others. They've got loyalty to another agent. That's actually a very good thing. It's good that people could show loyalty. I'm used to being cheated on all the time. I feel so dirty. The price. The price is too low. I just had an issue with that with the listing. The guy wanted 10 million. It's worth about 6 million. He's out of his bloody mind. I will say this that every real estate coach has said you cannot lose a listing that you do not get. So take the listing and try and work it. Well, this time it didn't work out for me. It's going to work out for not the next guy, but probably the agent after that. They keep waiting and waiting and waiting for they keep waiting and waiting and waiting for the perfect scenario, and it really comes. The price is too low. The price is too high. I need to think about it. Okay. And the market feels risky. What I want all of you to do, if you accept my challenge, is get an answer to each of those questions. Expect it. Those top 10 questions are going to come up in your next meeting. It just happens. So just get ready for that. And then, of course, on page 8, we've got your secret AI weapons, and I've given you some prompts here. Act as a real estate closer the client is, and you can put in the personality type, and says, and given the objection, give me 3-sentence rebuttal in their style plus a follow-up rapport building question. You could make scenario after scenario with these prompts, but these things, and when I give you prompt suggestions, that's all they are, suggestions. I'm expecting you to personalize it, and you're allowed to tell me that it sucked. Ed, that sucked. It was a terrible idea. I need to hear that. If you think it didn't work, fine. Let me give me the opportunity to get a little bit better. Um, so, that's there. Okay, and then let's go on to the action steps. What steps are you going to take? You need to start to log all the objections that you get. When you get turned down from something, don't get so pissed off. Log it. That Otter thing that I was telling you about in the beginning, that's recording this meeting and every other meeting, it comes on your iPhone as well. So you could actually make a recording to yourself and call it objections, and then go back and transcribe all those objections at the end of the day on your computer. Did you know that? You could just dictate whatever's on your mind into your iPhone, into the autopilot. And then when you get back to your computer, you could take all those recordings, transcribe it, and then use that as the nucleus for understanding where your objections come from. Because here's the thing, we're talking about the personality types of the clients. A lot of the clients reflect who you are. Isn't that the truth? If you're actually living with a group of people, I'm the poorest guy in the wealthiest neighborhood, and I love it. The people who live here are, there's two types, rich and fucking rich. I mean, really rich. That, you got those types that actually are here. If you could build a strategy around that and know what the objections that I'm going to get at St. Andrews Country Club are going to be different than at a 55 plus community in Boynton Beach. There's going to still be similarities because human nature hasn't changed, but just understand that. So this week's assignment, if you're willing to take it, on Monday, log every objection. Okay. On Tuesday, identify the personality types. This gives you all 5 days and the weekend to be able to try and build this out. Take a week, do your research. Guys, this is so, so, so important. It really, truly is. You got to get this right in order for you to win. It also gives you an ultimate mastery challenge. So read through the book. And again, if you like it, definitely give us a review and let us know. If you think it sucks, don't give us a review. Just tell me that it sucks and I'll fix it. And we'll be able to go from there. Okay, before we get to wants, needs, and brags, that's a point in the meeting where we talk about your successes. Who's got some other questions or ideas with regard to this topic? Anyone? Ferris Bueller? No? Anyone see? What do we have here? Okay, that's somebody. Okay, so Aton put in there the different personality types. I suggest you highlight it. Again, Aton, when you have a moment, if you could give the workbook again, that would be groovy, and we could be able to get that together. Next week, we're going to be talking about the following quarter's business planning. Really, really important. I'm going to do this every quarter with all of you. We're going to be able to talk about just what your goals are for the next business quarter and how we're going to be able to achieve those goals, what plan you actually have. It's a time for you to really take stock in what you're doing on a day-to-day basis to build up the business. Again, I like to think of things in a quarterly kind of chunk. If you had a crappy quarter, great. Now we got a new quarter to get started. So you got a chance to make things great. Next week, it's going to be the quarterly review. And if you are bold enough to talk about specifics, I understand if you want to keep it secret, that's fine too. But if you bring your books with you, we could talk about that. If you don't want to talk about your personal, if it's too personal, you're embarrassed or whatever it is, no worries. Still come to the meeting. Again, that's next Wednesday at 9 a.m. And I think on Friday at 12. I need to talk about that with Aton after this meeting. But that's going to be next Wednesday, 9 a.m. Eastern Time, and possibly on Wednesday at 12. Okay. That's pretty much what I wanted to say. Wants, needs, and brags. Now's the time in the meeting to talk about what you want, what you need, and what you'd like to brag about. I I had a great time with my wife and daughter in Southern California. My little one, my baby is now 25 years old. I can't believe that I'm old enough to have like a 25-year-old offspring. That I just I can't believe it. But look at me. I look so young. So that's my brag. What are yours? It could be a deal that you had, it could be a thought that you have, it could be a scenario that it could be a charity that you're a part of. Now's a great time to shout out. And guys, there isn't any, I'm not going to let up. Mark Lawrence has got his arm up. Hopefully, we'll hear from Dina and Eddie and Hassan and Casey as well. But go ahead, Mark.
Yeah, I mean, in addition to the Fat Boy Fit Club, I'm actually now, as of this week, the contributing real estate uh, person on a new morning show called Connecting America, brought to you by USA Today and Gannett newspapers. It's a streaming show, actually, so you can catch it in streaming. I did a section, yeah, topic yesterday. It's filmed in a diner because that represents the show is supposed to represent both news points, not right or left. That it's encompassing both and everything. Everybody has a voice, and the diner is the voice and the place of everybody in America. So I did a section yesterday, or a segment on 5 college towns you don't know about. And you should, because they're great places to live, and which included Boone, North Carolina, Bozeman, Montana, Clemson, South Carolina, Manhattan, Kansas, the Little Apple, and Boulder, Colorado. So fun little topics like that. Sorry we didn't Charleston. I see Greg's hands went up. We did Clemson. We did get into South Carolina, but we went upland. So I'll send more information with the links and where that's going to stream, and I'll be on that once a week.
Please do. And guys, if you want to get to know somebody, get to know Mark, get to know everybody here. If you're scared of making sales calls, and again, it's a tough place to be when you're in sales, call people in here. That's a call. Find out. Stacy's very nice. I don't know how many people she's hung up on, yeah, but she won't hang up on you. Call and say hello. Find out if there's some type of collaboration. At one point, 35% of my business came from other realtors. This is not a waste of time. This is not a way until I got supremely focused on my community. I still got to get a lot of referrals from other realtors, but it's a great place to be. Mark Thomas said, "What is the Instagram handle? Couldn't find it after I signed up today." I'm not sure which one. My Instagram handle is at Edmund Bogen. I'll put that in here. So if you go to Instagram, I don't know if you meant another handle, but please do reach out to me or put it, make another comment and we'll find it for you here. Renat, you guys are awesome. You're right. We are. Okay. I like that. Who else wants needs and brags? Come on, guys. We're in sales here. Let's hear some good brags. Lee, Robert, go ahead. You got something to brag about. Look at the enthusiasm. I love it.
Yeah, so my very own broker today is starting in our marketing program called the 90-minute marketing department. It's more than marketing. It's an entire business management system that incorporates AI. And so you talk about making a sell. I used my process to demonstrate why my broker needs this to recruit better agents into the brokerage. And we're starting that today so that in a couple of weeks we can go out and start recruiting better, more productive agents into the brokerage and start making a lot more money together.
Wow. Okay. So there we have it. You see, that wasn't so hard. I love that. Mark, what did you mean? Can you unmute yourself or I could see you floating around there now. You just have to get the mute button. He's somewhere there. Okay. Well, hopefully he'll get it in a minute. Now, are you frozen? Can you find the button? Avez-vous compris? Maybe. Oh, there he goes. Hey, Mark.
Hey,
Hey.
so I do actually have a brag. We just had a deal. I mean, everybody has deals that run into obstacles, but we had probably the most difficult buyer in the world. And of course, other people in this room would actually challenge that, I'm sure. But there was a reservation for an easement along the back of the property, and the buyer wanted to cancel. But after long story short, it turned out that reservation was recorded in 1947 with the intent of potentially putting in a trolley. Okay, this is in Bergen County, New Jersey.
Okay.
So we managed to go, with the help from our attorney, we managed to get that easement vacated and move the deal to the closing table.
That's
And
great.
that was no short order. I mean, let me tell you, we rode that horse to the end. So
And that, my friends, is the value of a qualified professional. And Mark, I would tattoo that somewhere. I mean, that is just like when
Yeah.
so the next person, take that Zillow.
Yeah.
That's what I would be doing. It's
Right,
really,
right.
it's really, really tough. But Mark, you asked what was the Instagram account? What were you referring to?
Yeah,
Mark?
I've been following you guys, but I haven't been seeing anything. And all of a sudden I saw the thing about this Zoom thing today, and I went to, sign up for it because it said to send the email. So I copied the email, and then when I went back to Instagram, that post was gone. And I was typing into Instagram at, Eton and blah blah blah, and I couldn't find the post.
But that makes us sad. We want to know that we've got, we want, so at Edmund Bogen, when you follow me, I'll follow you back. I don't know if you are following me,
Okay.
I'll find you and make sure that I follow you back. Everybody, let's follow each other, not in a creepy sense. Okay. That's Greg's following me on Instagram and Facebook. I'm going to need a restraining order. He's following me so much. But okay. Anyone else wants, needs, and brags? I just don't want to skip anyone. Seth, you could chime in if you want. Renat, you could chime in. Maxine, anyone?
Hi, good morning,
Who's that?
Maxine.
Maxine, hey, tell everyone who you are and where you are, please.
My name is Maxine Till. I'm with Keller Williams Realty. Mark Lawrence invited me here. Really grateful. It's been very valuable being here.
Well, thank you for coming.
I specialize in the Bronx real estate, so New York City, but I specialize in the Bronx. I am actually a part of, or I've partnered with a local nonprofit, and what we're doing is we're trying to raise money to cover the textbooks expenses for Bronx college students. These are college students from the Bronx, not necessarily that they go to school or university in the Bronx. So that's something that I have been really excited and passionate about. This not-for-profit, she works in a college full time, so she understands like the needs of these students, and we thought that would be something that could definitely lift the burden off of these college students. So that's something that I'm excited to brag about. And if anyone is interested, I could definitely send them a link. I left my phone number in the chat. So if anyone wanted more information, the link is on Give Butter, and it has all of the information on the not-for-profit, anything like that. So
Maxine, is it a 501c3? I mean, it's a tax deductible donation.
it is.
Okay, so send me the link.
Will do.
I'm going to give you $100.
I appreciate that.
And I would encourage, this is exactly what I want all of you to do in this meeting. We need to, I've spent a lot of money in my career, in my life. Trying to enrich someone else's life has not been anything I've ever regretted. And that was a heartfelt request, and it's worthy of support. So please, if you could email me that, and if we could catch up separately, that would be wonderful.
Absolutely. Will do. Thank you so much, you guys.
Thank you. Anyone else? Anyone? Terry, you still there? Eitan, go ahead. Eitan, my wizard behind the curtain. Go ahead.
I would love all other members to invite guests to our meeting next week or every week. That would be fantastic.
Yes, we are open for business. Eitan has put in the chat for the guests here a free 30-day, actually, Eitan, if you could put it one more time so it stays at the top of the feed. If you'd like to subscribe, we will get you in. You'll be able to try us out for a month. And it's only $30 a month to be able to be a part of this. We also offer one-on-one coaching and group coaching, and our growing AI integration business now is really taking some focus. So we'd love to be able to meet with you, talk with you. Seth, I'm glad that you made it here today. I look forward to being a part of whatever you are developing at Sklar. Um, here it's glad that you made it. And Terry, are you around?
I am around.
Why are you hiding?
I'm driving.
Ugh. Okay, you're gonna keep your hands on the road, right?
Well, I have two things that I want to brag about.
Please.
My sister had a double mastectomy, and she's completely cancer free. My brother-in-law said, I love my wife's breasts, but I love her heart more. So I think that that's just about as wonderful as a husband could be. Because my sister and brother-in-law and I have a business back home, we're in the middle of fixing up a house so we can flip it. I've just gone home for the last 9 days because usually my brother-in-law and my sister work together, but obviously my sister can't do anything. So I've been working on our house back in Kansas City, and it is so gratifying to sweat and make something and then go home and fall asleep for 12 hours. So I'm just really thrilled that it's working, and I'm working, and it's all working. And that makes me happy.
Mazel tov. Love it.
Terry, it's Greg Coggins. You're driving, so I doubt you saw. Everybody in the room did thumbs up for your sister.
Aw.
And I just want you to know we're all there with you.
Well, and I will tell you, she just had the reconstructive surgery, and she was telling me all about it. And she said, well, there's this new thing where you can get these implants that if you want your new breasts to be perky, you can have the app to make them bigger. But if you want to really be a great golf player and they need to be small, you can do the app to make them smaller. And me, the naive brother, believed her.
Oh, hold on. That's not true?
It's not true. Well, at least not now.
I saw something online that you could change colors. You could make, like little disco. Okay, whatever. That's it.
But this also shows my sister's sensibility about this. She bought a T-shirt at the beginning of this that said, "My boobs are killing me, so I got rid of them." So it's your mindset for these things is the most important thing, and she's just knocking it out of the park. So I'm so proud of her, and so thrilled that she is doing so well.
And Terry, like Mark, has been a friend of mine for many, many years. Terry, I'm doing cartwheels for you. I'm delighted to hear that. Anytime there is no minor cancer here, and the fact that she's cancer free at this point, mazel tov, it's wonderful.
Yeah.
I think that's just great stuff. Okay, and with Seth, go ahead. You need to unmute yourself in order to chat. It's the if you take your mouse, it's on the left hand. There you go.
Yeah, so I just wanted to say, I want to just touch on what you mentioned earlier. I am in the printing and marketing business, and I work with over 600 realtors in Ed's local market. So I talk to every single telemarketer that calls me. I do not avoid telemarketers. And I learn something new from a telemarketer every single day, whether telemarketing, life insurance, health insurance, automobiles. You learn techniques and you learn how to answer questions and how to ask the proper questions. It's always great. Robocalls, you hang up right away. The only thing is if the telemarketing call comes up with an unknown number, I probably will not answer it. But if it comes up with a known number, I'm going to answer it. And I can tell you, in the last 20 years, because I had the same mentality that a lot of people, I'm not going to listen to telemarketers and waste my time. I've grown substantially in my sales techniques because I learned what not to say, what to say, and how to say it. And I just wanted to give you guys that little word of advice right there that telemarketers aren't all bad. You're not buying, but you can listen and learn.
Sure. It's a free education. So but again, that goes back to the heart of this meeting, turning around. It really is a matter of perspective. It really, truly is a matter. I've seen friendships break up. They've been friends for so many years, and then somebody did something that was so wrong. Guys, listen, short of rape or murder, everything is fixable. Isn't that the truth? Short of something that's so horrific and unforgivable, fix the problem. Because I see a lot of people that aren't. Okay, and I got all those thumbs up from Greg, so that means I did something right. Okay, Terry, are you ready, my friend?
I am ready.
Okay, now's the time of the meeting when I really like to look at all of you and say, it sure was good having you here today. I'm really grateful that all of you came, and I hope all of you come back next Wednesday morning for another exciting episode of
Ray Nation.
Thank you, sir. You see, that's we can never end the meeting without him saying that. Oh, we're not in the gym. Look at, ooh, wow, it's a big, strong man. Love that. Okay. Okay, guys, and I'll stick around for a couple more minutes. If anyone has any AI questions, I'd love to bring them out. Seth, I hope that you and I could do something together. I hope this, I do, I do this in person. So I'm a lot of fun at weddings and bar mitzvahs. So if you have a bar mitzvah coming up, definitely invite me to that, or a wedding or anything like that. Guys, any thoughts or questions? There's been a lot of changes in AI in the last couple weeks. And if anybody has any thoughts or anything they want to summarize, I know somebody asked, they sent me a DM. It was Cluely, Cluely. That was the app that I was telling everyone about. That's my kind of app of the week. Anytime we should talk about that, maybe doing an app of the week kind of segment. It might be an interesting approach. But Greg, go ahead.
I love it.
Very quick suggestion. I'm late for a meeting, so agents. We need to do one of these completely around agents because I have heard so much about that in the last week and a half.
We need to have an AI agent meeting, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't disagree. If you guys want to geek out with me, um, it really is something that we have to, it's a bit of a more advanced type of meeting, but if anybody wants to do that, I'll make a special meeting for all of you and let me know. I also put my little app back into the chat here. So if all of you can click on that and let me know and give me the feedback. And finally, if you've been a guest and you'd like to subscribe, it's free for the first 30 days. After that, it's a whopping 30 bucks a month. I mean, I'm asking you to basically buy me a couple of lattes. And for that, we're getting some really great content out to all of you. And that's what we're really trying to build. Guys, Eitan, great to see you. Everyone, great to see you. I look forward to seeing everybody next week. Take care.